And yeah, so there is no presentation this time around, but just to give like a quick, like I guess, explainer of what happens right now is that we decided to try out new formats for our community since it grows and becomes bigger and bigger. That's why we decided to check whether it's like viable to try to give the people with the same background and similar interest their own space to discuss stuff and share knowledge, become like probably find friends. That's the ideal scenario, but probably share some issues that people are facing during their working hours or some during some other activities. Figure out common solutions, brainstorm ideas, etc., etc. And since people who have a common background probably would be the most efficient in like helping each other, that is the main objective of this particular call and hopefully the calls in the future. So this call is specifically for PMs. So we are interested in kind of giving the stage to the people who work in that area and hopefully find some common ground and basically build the network around that. So yeah, right now I guess Juan, if you can
Yeah,
lead the call, that would be super cool.
absolutely. Guys, what I mean, basically, it's a bit all to get to know each other and what we're working on, right? So, if one, well, maybe I could do a quick intro about myself. I've been a product manager for at this point like 11 years, I think. Mostly working in the insurance industry. And when I first got here was basically because I knew that some way or another, right? AI was going to be the future going forward for products. Maybe not for standalone products on their own all the time, because we can't all be like ChatGPTs, right? But as a feature for most products, because I feel like humanity's problems are always going to be kind of the same, right? Like your house burns on fire, you need to buy groceries, what and whatnot, right? The thing is how we come up with different and creative solutions for them. And I think that's where AI is going to be incredibly revolutionary. And I just want to, for myself as a professional, I just wanted to see how can I implement that into my life. And as I started to become more and more part of this community, I just really started to love seeing what all of you guys are building and how you guys are seeing things going forward. So basically, that's me.
Up next, Camille Lafreniere. I'm based out of just outside of Montreal, Quebec, Canada. I've been in the software industry probably far too long, but sometimes it feels not long enough. I have a very mixed background, working customer service, hospitality industry, and then was able to finally get myself into the software industry. I've been in product for just over 10 years. Truly love what I do. I work in an industry which is very much lagging. It's the architecture, engineering, and construction firm. Uh, when they digitized everything, it was take what is in paper and put it on my screen. So it's literally one for one, and they're very conservative and adamant in regards to not having any major changes. So, but with that, have always had an interest in AI. I've just finished up an AI course, and yeah, actually, with that course, was able to take the lead of the AI initiatives that we have at our company starting next year. So really excited and looking to learn more from others and be able to collaborate. On.
Yeah, I just wanted to ask you a quick question.
Sure.
Because I have no idea how AI is being used in your industry. Could you give us an example of what the use point?
Um, there's a number of different places, and again, it depends on the persona. Each persona is using it very differently. Um, from a design perspective, there's a design using AI, um, creating various designs based off of previous company designs or trademark designs that they have from the company. Another is once the design has been created, using AI to find clashes in regards to certain items. For example, when your plumbing is going through a concrete wall, that doesn't work, can't have it happen. So that's a clash. Having AI actually calculate a better way or different materials, um, and resources is one way. AI is being used for resource management, time management. Um, there's a lot of various different ways, but I think the problem is cost in training, cost in upkeeping, and then passing that over to the customer and trying to make money off of it. And that's the big difficulty right now, and data.
And do you have any problem with, for example, hallucinations, with, for example, the design it provides, or
Uh, I'm sure there is. I mean, the initiatives that we have are just hypotheses, items that we're trying to get off the ground.
okay?
Some of the hypotheses are very ambitious, others are not ambitious enough. So um, it's very much still in the starting phase. There are other companies. A prime example, Autodesk. I mean, they're huge, they're major. Everybody knows Autodesk. They've got a lot of stuff going. So definitely keeping a very close eye on what they're doing, how they're using it, and seeing what we can replicate or at least, you know, kind of borrow or leverage for what we want to do going forward.
Okay, wow, that's awesome. I had no idea. Thank you.
Yeah, that's sounds super interesting because usually we hear about AI applications in a regular software industry, and that's pretty much it. Like probably some prediction and recommendation systems, and that's
Mm-hmm.
like top of it. But I've been working with Autodesk and like AutoCAD
Yeah.
specifically when like for a couple of years, and I've always been fascinated by how efficient it can be when it comes to like auto rotating stuff, like putting it like specifically what I've been doing. I've been designing a PCB, like circuit boards for the
Mm.
electronics in like in the university when I've been studying, and a couple of years after that. So basically, that kind of automation that was available in that software back then, like 10 years ago, it was like super fascinating for me because it was like look like a magic.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, as you're saying that if you're able to like use that kind of approach with like construction stuff, that's like mind blowing, honestly. I do believe that AI can come up with a lot of cool ideas for construction stuff and optimize space, optimize
Mm-hmm.
resources, to, like make it easier, make it more efficient, make it more like I don't know, soundproof, waterproof, etc. So yeah, like avoid stupid mistakes that people are doing while
Yeah.
in engineering something. So yeah, that's definitely super cool. So if that's not a secret, what is the stage of your kind of research development, I guess, like how far you've come with implementing AI?
For our company right now, it's literally just starting. We've got nothing out in production, nothing's been developed. It's just hypotheses, a few proof of concepts, and that's about it. So next year, I'm tasked with trying to get something out the door.
Yeah, sounds
So
cool.
yeah,
If you wanna workshop some ideas here, we would love to help, honestly.
Appreciate it.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Yeah, we've been doing that, and it's been pretty good. I honestly I got a lot of out of it.
Good. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Who wants to be next? Hmm.
Let's
I
go
can.
clockwise or yeah.
So, hey guys, I'm Swarna. So, I'm building a product for product managers and an AI focused product. Some background about me: I have in the tech industry, I have had a mixed background. I actually come from the medical field, and through happenstance, I bumped into UX design. I was fascinated. And then I was doing mostly freelance in UX. And in that role, I found myself kind of straddling the role of product as well. And eventually, I found myself in a product role in a real estate tech company based out of New York. And that's where I saw how challenging it is for product managers who seem to be working across multiple tools to get their work done. Like you have your product planning that happens on Monday.com, and you have your requirements happening on Google Docs, and then your road mapping is happening on an Excel sheet. So I found it pretty crazy that we have so many cool tools out there, but nothing that actually covers the end-to-end process of product management and kind of links everything out together. And so I've been building a product for that, to cater to product managers and making their work easier and powered by AI. So that's about me.
How did it go with the survey that you last did?
I would say like it was like a very mixed response with the thing, but I think what people are actually looking for is so initially the focus was product requirements and kind of bridging the gap between documentation and other tools. That was what the vision was in the beginning, because you have this Google Docs and Microsoft Word, and everything is so disconnected from everything else. But I think like the problem of disconnection is not only with documents, but across the board. So when you talk about like if you when you create a survey for a specific problem, what happens is that you're again creating another fragment there. So when we last spoke, Juan, we were talking about customer feedback, right? The feedback
Yeah.
triaging and things like that. And I also created a survey for it, put it on Reddit on your group and things like that.
Yeah.
But the challenge with that is again, there's another fragment there of, the customer feedback management and things like that. So the way I'm looking at this right now is covering the entire product development lifecycle within one thing and being flexible enough to support all kinds of product management styles.
Okay.
So that's the vision like I'm going for right now. And yeah, the discovery on that is happening right now.
And do you have already the product management styles you're looking to cover? Like, do you have them segmented, or how you think about that?
I think the segmentation is more on based on the verticals. So I'm looking at B2B SaaS
Okay.
uh, because it seems to be pretty much standardized in B2B SaaS
Yeah.
versus a B2C or other verticals like health tech, which have other challenges and they have very not really streamlined. It's fairly product management is fairly more streamlined within B2B SaaS. So it
Okay.
seems to be.
And are you thinking about what size companies you're looking for example?
Um, Ideally, Series A, Series B. But I think like the easiest GTM to go for is like seed or pre-seed
Okay.
to because it is definitely going to be I think like larger companies, mid-size, they're already married to tools and it's like a lot of red tape to move to something else and to try something else. Forget about moving. So yeah.
And another thing is that huge companies already have repeat personnel to spare, right? So they might not be as worried about optimizing roles that people might feel, how can I say this, maybe redundant because of, right? But at the opposite side of things, startups might, for them having another PM might be maybe the CEO is the PM, right?
Yeah.
So those are companies that are not gonna have that red tape at all, and are probably gonna be like marveled by your idea, honestly. Yeah. because what you guys are building is pretty cool. Yeah.
I wonder if I can share some thoughts on that as well. Hi all, I'm Tim. So I think maybe there's a midpoint. So having worked in a few startups, I suspect that they're probably far too chaotic to actually want or take benefit from any tools that you provide, because things are really dynamic. I think there's a midpoint of an organizational size where getting a bit more rigor around your product development is required. And you're right. I think those big companies will be challenging. I built plugins for Jira, so I tried to bring AI into Jira, and then I realized that Atlassian was just going to do it, and I wouldn't have a market. So that was a poor investment. But fundamentally, the idea being that using agile product development and embedding that in Jira enabled us to streamline that delivery, making sure that we took internal input documents, created a backlog of tasking, and then in terms of that customer feedback, we can use multiple channels, whether that's from interviews with customers, recording those interviews using I was using Whisper, but I think we can do better than that now. And then transcribing the audio of the customer interview, and then asking AI to generate product backlog items and refining our product backlog of to-do lists. So I can see there being a really interesting pipeline for that delivery, but I suspect it's not the tiny people. That when you've got 10 people, they can just get in a room and talk about it. And it's not the 10,000 people. It's probably somewhere in the middle. I don't know. Maybe you've got a different opinion.
Yeah, that's interesting actually. Like I've had these contrasting views as well, like what Yuan mentioned right now. And I had a demo day last week where there was a lot of excitement around solo founders thinking that or having this perspective that I don't really need to hire a product manager to manage my product because I can do it. Or I can just hire this one person and he can do an overview of the tool and get things going. And I don't have to do too many hires there. So that is like the beginning part of it. And then you have your Series A and Series B who actually want to optimize. They don't want to hire too much and they want to optimize. So I think it's like in between where, you have started off, you're already married to a couple of ways of doing, like people spend weeks setting up Notion, right? Like Notion had the same pitch of, yeah.
Sorry, it's a really interesting point. I'm autistic. I struggle to sit on my thoughts. I apologize. I don't mean to cut over you. But it's an interesting point when you're talking about those Series A, Series B. As you're starting to look for funding, you're going to have to speak to people about your product roadmap, about your progress on task, so that you've got a clear message. When it's a few people, they've got a little bit of seed funding and they're a small startup, not a problem. But as you're going to speak to you know, Y Combinator and other people and saying, give me money, they want to see really clearly defined product roadmaps, product definition, your progress on task. So I think that tools like that start to become a requirement, if not to organize your work, to organize your funding, if that makes sense. So maybe there's a direction to look at in terms of marketing, like how do you make yourselves look a professional organization to people you're asking to invest money and time. But yeah, I think the idea that you're right. People don't want to spend money on a product manager. They don't see that I can do that. It's an easy job. What do you mean? It's create a spreadsheet, job done. And yeah, I think any of us who've worked in that space professionally know it's a significant amount more work than that. So I think it's a really interesting idea. I've done, as I say, some stuff which is similar.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's great input there. Yeah. I think yeah, I mean, the challenges that you mentioned are definitely there, and we did struggle with this because there's this whole rave about, doing an MVP, or, just make like this small rough and tough product and get it out of the door as soon as possible. And I quickly figured out, actually not quick enough, but I figured out that that's not going to work in SaaS. Everybody wants a polished product, so it's not going to work that you do something like half-ass. And even if it
Yeah.
looks good, right, it doesn't really matter because it needs to really solve a problem from the beginning to the end. Otherwise, you're another fragmented tool there.
That's my day job, right? So that's why I teach people on that stuff. The M in MVP, minimum, is minimum for your audience. And the minimum for your audience is a polished product which does a set of stuff. Doesn't mean you can't iterate and build on that, but the bar is higher than I've got a web front end and I can do some stuff, some light stuff. Yeah, that's not your minimum. I completely agree, but it's often really misunderstood. That minimum thing has got to be minimum for the client or customer's needs, not the minimum amount of development work we can get away with.
Yeah.
No, well done for finding it out though and working it out. Otherwise, you put something into market, and all you end up with is actually devaluing your proposition because people go, "Well, it's rubbish." So I tried it; it's rubbish. I'll never go back to it. So you do need to pitch yourself at that right level. I completely agree. Well done for working that out.
I
Awesome.
think like you made a really good point about the marketing side of things. Like, for example, how am I gonna make this product pitchable? That's really interesting. And I feel, especially if we're talking about mid-sized companies, right? Let's say, for example, okay, product managers who use my tool make deliveries like 7% faster, right? That might be like really something that's highly marketable about your product. And I think that even that those kind of metrics might be the way to see where the product should go moving forward. Now that I think about it, yeah.
I think an interesting point as well, building on that, is risk mitigation. So a lot of the challenges that, or a lot of the things that businesses want to look at is how do I mitigate my delivery risk? How can I get better, quicker insights? And I think that these product management tools can help us to mitigate building the wrong things. So we're tied in with our customer needs, duplication of effort, which is often an issue in organizations where they've got fractured teams. You're doing that, I'm doing that, what's going on? But also the stuff which falls in the gaps as well. So the inter-team working for the delivery of a product, if you've got like maybe a front-end team or a back-end team, how do we get them truly aligned? I mean, that's the bread and butter of product management, I know that, but getting that clear picture and talking to how we mitigate delivery risk as well as accelerating time to market and return on investment.
Yeah. What's your opinion on compliance? That has been something that we have struggled with especially Series A, Series B companies, where they ask for things like SOC 2 compliance, which is very expensive for us being a startup, and things like that. So that has been another challenge with our GTM on that specific issue. But what is your experience or perspective on
From
that?
from my experience, compliance requires kind of a big team. It's complicated to sequence to go around it. The best way to solve it is honestly to go to smaller companies that are not as care about compliance, at least in my opinion, in my professional view. I don't know about you, Tim, how you feel
I
about
never
it.
got I never got that far, but I can see the challenges. One of the ways that I would look at is maybe partnering with someone and say, "Look, let's become a development partner and we'll go through compliance together with like a limited set of your data or something." There's a hand raised as well. I've just seen that.
Yeah. Oh, Sioma, hi. By the way, would you like to do a quick introduction about yourself before we just keep the ball rolling? Hi.
Okay, hello everyone. I'm Ujoma, and you can call me Blessing, and just in case my name is difficult to pronounce. And I'm a product manager from Nigeria, and more like doing a product management internship. So I've not really had so much experience working on real life products that are in the market, but actually working on one at the moment. So, but before I go for that, I'd really like maybe like I know I joined in later. I had to conclude with a meeting before I could join this one. If I can just get like a summarized view of okay, what we are talking about, so that way I can be able to know what to contribute because I also have questions I want to ask. Because from the look of things, I know that a good number of us here have good large experience when it comes for working with product as product managers. So if I can first get the summarized, like just what has been discussed so far, so that I can now ask my questions and give my contribution. Thank you.
Okay, that's great.
Yeah, Juan, you wanna go ahead or I guess. Okay, so I guess I'll give a small recap of what we are doing over here. So first of all, Ozioma, Abijay. Hello. Nice to see you,
Hey.
Tim. Long time no see. So the idea was to gather together people who are working in product management, and basically because we do have a similar background and know what issues we face during the work, or like what kind of challenges ahead of us. In this situation, we can kind of share experience, brainstorm some ideas. If we've got some kind of an issue or a question or anything like that, we can share it with this kind of smaller, more focused community. So basically, the point of this call is to get to know each other, discuss what backgrounds we have, and basically, from now on, if somebody would face some issue or would like to get an advice or would like to share an opinion, in this case, there is this like a smaller sub community of the people with the same background that you can share this like question with. So basically, the main point of this call is not to discuss something specific, but rather to introduce yourself, get to know each other, ask some question to some other people, and that's pretty much it. So one more thing, since we do have all our cameras turned on, it would be super cool to make a small picture of ourselves. So if you've got a couple seconds, please smile in the camera, and I'll try to make a couple screenshots. So 1, 2, 3. Yeah, perfect. 1 second. And because like this is a rare occasion when everybody got their cameras on. So yeah, guess this might end up in our newsletter. So if like I'll share the pictures in the chat first. So Camille, I'm not sure if you are in that like kind of product management chat for now. I'll need to add you. You're not there, right? You don't
I
have.
don't believe so. No.
Mm-hmm. Okay, Abijay, I'm not sure either. Sorry, you're muted.
Yeah, I'm also not in the PM chat. I just saw that message just now on the general chat. Then I joined.
Okay,
Yeah.
I'll add you. And Tim, I'm sure you're not there as well. So if you'd like to get added, like I'll add you anyway, and then if you'd like, you can just like I don't know. You're muted.
You're not making me feel better, Max. I feel guilty that I kind of drop in and out so infrequently to the group. For those that hadn't seen me before, I mean, I guess it was quite early on when you first started the group. I had loads of time available and I spent a lot of time kind of working on stuff. And then things have just got crazy for me in my life, which is great, but it just left me time poor. And you're not making me feel better about it, Max. You're not making me feel better about it.
Would you like to tell us a bit about yourself, Tim, since we're at it?
Sure. So I'm Tim. I live in the UK, and I'm ancient. So I'm over 50 years old now. So I've got a wealth of different job experiences behind me. I work as an agile coach. I help organizations to better shape their organizations to deliver value, which means that I've worked in like the product space for quite some time, helping organizations deliver products and services. Sometimes they're technology, sometimes they're customer facing services and things like that. Um, from a technical background, I worked in a startup for 10 years, building telecoms startup stuff. So I've got a fair bit of experience of how those dynamic environments are. And over the last sort of 10 or 15 years, I've worked with massive multinational companies like banks and Adidas and others to help to better organize their delivery of value. In terms of what's keeping me busy at the moment, apart from working with those clients to help them in their business, because that pays my mortgage, I'm also building AI products and solutions. So I'm working on a couple of different things. One is in healthcare. I've built an AI agent which phones up elderly people or people who have got like dementia, asks them, health and well-being questions, gives them companionship, and then creates reports for care workers, so that when a carer goes in, they've got kind of a summary of notes of the calls that they've had with the AI. But also, if the AI recognizes, someone's in distress, they can phone a carer and get them connected to a carer. So that's one of the products that I've been building. And the other one is trying to pivot SEO away from the traditional SERPs, because I see the future of search is going to be AI agent driven, which means what happens to your Google ranking, if that's important to you. What you actually want to do is up rank your website and your content in AI responses, not Google responses. So how do you do that? I found a way of doing that. I found a way of up ranking your content in AI responses. Admittedly, it's based on training time, not inference. So there's a long lag or lead time, but I also hypothesize that the pace of change is so fast, we're going to quite quickly get into inference time indexing of real information. Look at Perplexity, for example. So how do we up rank your website and your details? As I say, worked with Adidas. If I ask what are the best shoes for me to do CrossFit in, I want my Adidas trainers to be top of the AI response list. So I've got a mechanism that enables me to do that. So there are two things I'm currently working on, amongst other things. Historically, I've done stuff in that kind of agile and transformation space, and pure leading into product management space. I mean, in my world, we would call them product owners, but the people who are defining the value and maximizing it for an organization. So I've built AI tools to support them. One embedded into Jira, which was a bit of a failed venture. I learned a lot from it, but I'm definitely not putting £15,000 into a product ever again. Someone else can pay. But yeah, that's a little bit about me. Thanks for the offer to share.
I just kind of been blown away by what you're building. I never thought about the fact that CEO is gonna be AI focuses right now. Wow, that's pretty amazing.
Alarm is charging. Shh. Don't tell anyone. I honestly think I'm about the only person who's spotted that change in the market. And what I'm trying to do is to build a solution which is disruptive enough that someone like Google comes along and goes, "Hey, go away. Here's some money."
Yeah.
So that's the exit strategy. I'm 50. I want to retire. So yeah, that's what I'm building. If anybody is a strong dev who can come and support me and wants to make some money, give me a shout.
Yeah. Well, that's awesome. And what are like your main roadblocks right now? For example, you said lead time is the main. Are you thinking about how you're gonna reduce that?
So there's a couple of things. I'm going to be limited. There are a couple of roadblocks. One is scraping the website. So a lot of organizations are reluctant to open their website for being scraped for a bunch of reasons, performance reasons and other things. I mean, so I assume if you're paying for this as a service, you're giving it permission to scrape your website. But technically, website scraping is quite challenging. So that's one side of it. And the other side really is that lead time. So fundamentally, if I improve your website's content so that an AI weights that higher than something else, it's only going to be weighted as part of its training, right? Or post training in my weights and measures section, and then the release of a new tool. So there's a long lag from optimization to results. So that's one problem. As I say, I suspect what we're going to get to much sooner than people realize is real-time inference of web content. So it will go and search, get a bunch of answers, and then give you has anybody used Perplexity as a search engine, AI-driven search engine?
Yeah.
So that sort of approach, I think, is going to be much more fundamental for. I mean, it's so much better for me as a user to do that. But if I can uprank you in something like that search engine, that's going to be significantly valuable for you as a business, I think. And the idea would be that I want to make that B2B kind of sales channel, SaaS. So existing SEO organizations can bolt that in to their their current SEO offerings. So as well as optimizing your SEO for traditional search, you can also optimize for AI training and inference. And also because by scraping the website and creating a kind of a knowledge base for your website, I can also create an AI agent that walks you through optimization. So you can actually have a conversational agent who constantly kind of looks back over your website and say, oh, okay, you've made that change. Yeah, maybe we need to tweak that a little bit more. Can also look at competitors' websites, see what they're doing. I think there's a couple of things. I'm giving away all the secret sauce now, but a couple of things. The other thing is that if website traffic is important to you, then you need to pivot your website away from providing answers because that's what AI does. Don't make it easy for me to find an answer. Give me a compelling reason to visit your website. Now, that could be because you've got tools that I can access, because you've got infographics which are useful to me, or it could be that you've got kind of Q&A sessions, live chat, stuff that an AI can't do for me. That's where you need to position your website if you want to get more website traffic.
Okay, so basically now the strategy is going to be have people come in because of the way you word things. So AI might pick on it, and then have them with a killer feature inside, right?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. What's the I guess the USP for a human being? We know what the compelling factor is for the AI and how well I'm making some guesses on things like how OpenAI is doing weights and measures. They're never going to tell that. That's absolutely their secret sauce, right? They're never going to tell me, but I can infer a lot from some papers and what we see. So I can assess your website against a pretty extensive rubric of data on what makes it more attractive to the AI, and we probably know what makes it more attractive to human beings. So yeah, but it's interesting.
Team, dude, you have it figured out. Wow. Like, honestly, I see. Like, this is hell.
Let's not even talk about how do we monetize content on the internet in the future. I've written some stuff up on how to monetize future content on the internet as well, because AI needs to be driven by human content, not AI driven content.
Yeah.
So how do we monetize more human content in the future? So I've been working on that as well. I'm quite busy at the moment, which is why I've not I drop in and out to these sessions, sadly.
Here.
But anyway,
It's
that's
fine.
me. I've bored you all now. You can move on. Who's next?
Please. That's pretty awesome, honestly. But I would love to see how you go about it going forward. If I could ask you, like, for example, are you going right now to SEO agencies at this point?
Not
Trying to-
yet. No, I've built a GPT which does the work. I can share a link to the GPT in chat if people want to try it. But yeah, it's designed to scan your website. It's not a great scraping of the website because I've got the AI kind of doing that. I need to embed something which is more fundamental, but it will give you some insights on your website, and then give you some kind of guidance. Please don't steal it. It's my baby.
I would honestly love to have you do a community call down the line and have you workshop some ideas with us.
Yeah.
More than steal your baby, I honestly want to help it grow. Absolutely, yeah. Yeah.
So let me just copy a link to the GPT. I'll drop it in the chat. And yeah, and the other thing that I've been working on is for elder people because my dad's in care and he needs more help. So this week I've actually embedded it into a hardware device. So I've now, if I do that,
Calling contact number 2.
Oh,
I'm not going to give you a massive product demo.
This is Eva. I'm here to tell you a little bit about me and answer your questions. What would you like to know?
What problem are you solving, Eva?
I'm here to help combat loneliness among the elderly, which is a growing concern.
Anyway, so yeah, that's the other side of stuff that I've been working and building on, which is so yeah, it's fun and interesting, but keep you busy. Sorry, I bored you all now.
Please, that's amazing to all of us. Don't worry about it at all. That's why we're here, honestly.
Yeah, so I quite enjoy building new things, but I'm not very good at it. So I'm great. I think I'm pretty good at coming up with some ideas, but I need more of a team around me to help me to build it.
It's impossible to be a one person does it all. I think that's the reason why our profession exists.
Yeah.
Like we are good at some stuff and not so much at another, right? What we need to do is build a team around us that complement us, basically. But
Agreed.
dude, you got your stuff going on. I think you're much better at building stuff that you give yourself credit.
Yeah, but if you go and sit with a proper developer, and then you kind of go, no, I don't know this stuff. You know the Dunning-Kruger model? Yeah.
Yeah.
Have you heard, yeah, the Dunning-Kruger thing where I know enough to think I know everything. Yeah, I'm now at the bottom of the curve, which is like I now know enough to know I know nothing. Which is, yeah, as a common occurrence for me, I think.
That's at least miles ahead of most. So yeah.
What are others working on? So as I say, I've done lots of talking. So I want to hear what other people are working to, or who they are, and what their interests are. Take us forward, Juan, please.
Guys, whoever is willing, we still have 10 minutes, and we would love to get to know a little bit about you. Whatever you like to discuss.
Abijay, I guess you need to introduce yourself, and Pablo, nice to see you. Hello, hello.
Yeah, guys, sorry, I was late here. I didn't know that the meeting was at 7 and it's pretty early for me, so I just jump in just in case that I was able to make it. So I'm happy that I still got a few minutes with you all. Nice.
Awesome.
Please, it's not a problem at all. Would you be willing to share a bit about yourself?
Yeah.
Me?
Yeah, I guess Abijay, maybe you will go first.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Thank
Sure
you very
thing,
much.
sure thing. So, hey guys, I'm Abhijay and I'm from India. So I'm engineer turned product manager, and so overall 10 years experience, 4 years engineer, 6 years PM. I worked with startups, MNCs, and again, I'm back to startups again. So yeah, that's a short, brief intro about myself. Currently working on not exactly an AI product. Like my previous job was where I was leading a team for, especially in the machine learning area, where we were optimizing the sales channel for Dell's account. That was my last job, and currently I'm working on event management space. Now completely focused on the business side right now to figure out how to monetize and make money, and then figure out how to add some very cool features in the product. So yeah, that's a short description, short intro about myself. Nice to see you all, guys.
Awesome, thank you. Okay, and how about you, Pablo?
Oh yeah, sorry. I was checking on what Tim sent into the chat. I mean, you're doing so many things, man. I love it.
Badly, Pablo. That's the point.
Yeah. Yeah, sorry, I was not prepared at the moment. Yeah, I've been a product manager. Well, I'm an engineer. I'm a telecommunications engineer. I've been working as a developer for more than 10 years. At some point, I started working as a product manager. I've been a senior product manager for 7 years. I work in an AI company where I led two products, one related with NLP search. Like the product was focused on e-commerce and intelligent search, and the other one was like an agents platform for customers. And yeah, this is it. At this moment, I quit my job a few months ago because I wanted to build something new. So I started with a partner. Maybe you know him because he speaks a lot on Slack. He's Jorge. And we are building a tool powered by AI that we wanted to help product managers to enhance their abilities and improve their performance. So yeah, this is me and this is what I'm doing. I don't know. Yeah.
You already
No,
have a cohort of customers here for your product.
What? Sorry, Abhishek?
I'm
Yeah.
saying you already have a cohort of customers here for your product. You already have
Yeah.
like 10 customers who will be willing to give you feedback. So that's great.
I hope so. Yeah. This moment we have a closed alpha that we are trying to test with some people, and we want to release like a beta and an MVP soon. Maybe next week, in 2 weeks, something like that. We are getting closer, so we'll share with you all as soon as possible. I bet it's going to help you.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's awesome. I've been talking with Jorge a lot, and I can't believe you guys are building features every couple of days. Like, that's unbelievable to me.
Yeah, we are very, I mean, we worked together some years ago. Jorge was more on the customer side. I was more leading the team of development. And we made a great team. He's also technical and he's more focused on the customer side. I'm focused on the technical part, but yeah, we work super fast. So, but we know what we want. We've been leading projects for so many years, and I think we can, well, we are trying to hear all the people that is testing the tool. So yeah, let's see. I'll share with you all, and you'll be able to test it soon.
Yeah, we
So
can't wait
nice.
to see your guys
Yeah.
do it. Yeah,
If
absolutely.
I have if I have to be honest, I'm looking forward for the next meeting because I wanted to hear what all of you were your experiences in the job. So I'm pretty late and I was not able, but I see that Max is recording this, so hopefully I'll be able to check it out.
Please, it's not a problem at all. It's all on me. I'm the reason because why the call had to be so early. So sorry about that. But we
No,
can
no, no,
do
no, no.
this kind of stuff maybe like once a month and try to have
Mhm.
it on the schedule more earlier, right? So we can, because I feel that the biggest hurdle here is time zones. That's something that we
Mhm.
discussed at the beginning because we have people from all over at this point.
Yeah.
Uh, Maybe predictability might be a help there. I don't know. We'll figure it
No,
out.
but Juan, to be honest, this time is good. It's only that I need to know it earlier because yesterday the meeting was canceled and it was just that. I mean, I'm fine. It's fine this hour. Yeah,
Completely fine. Thank you.
sure. Well, thank you. Nice to meet you all, of course. Mhm.
Okay, guys, if anybody else wants to share something, we still have a couple minutes.
If anybody's interested in the tooling that I built for integration into Jira, they're welcome to fork my GitHub repo and build on that. The fact that I spent a fair bit of money on it, but I'm not taking it any further. So if anybody else wants to play with AI integration into Jira, then give me a shout. You're welcome to fork the GitHub repo.
I guess I've missed that. Has anyone made a joke about forking your repo and applying to YC already or not? Like, I'm not sure.
No, no, you feel free to be first.
Okay, I guess I will. So yeah, for those of you who don't know, the Visual Studio Code is like a code editor, and they open sourced it, like Microsoft open sourced it, and a group of open source enthusiasts, they've built an AI copilot for software development based on that tool. And a couple guys basically forked that open source GitHub repo and renamed everything through Control F and applied to a Y Combinator, and they've got accepted and like got some funding. Like, I don't know the details of that story, but
Oh,
the whole internet was buzzing for the last like week or two with like
That
what should I fork and like slap my logo on it and make it my own. Like, how can I make money of that? So yeah, that sounds like a good idea, you know. So be careful with
Wow.
forking your repos.
that
That,
continue company the company name was continue that, right?
Yeah.
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 It's amazing that there is no due diligence being done before you go, oh, okay, here's a bunch of money to continue. Well, they just must have a checkbook sitting there and just, oh yeah, here's some money. AI. Oh yeah, here's some money.
Yeah.
Sorry, but you said it was open source and they
Yes.
fork it and they sell it as it was their own, but it can be done like this. If something is open source, you can grab it and say, no, no, this is mine. Give me money. That's
Yes,
crazy.
that exactly what happened. Like I guess I've dropped a couple screenshots of what was happening into the AI in software channel on AI product Hive Slack. So you can check that out. But basically, the whole idea is that you can, I guess, pitch AI or something like that. Like you can Google that, and all the details of that story, they are covered extensively as of right now. And they've even got the first commit that basically forked the repo that was called something like "It's ours now" or something like that.
I'm seeing the message now. I'm on
Yeah,
Slack looking at that. Oh my
yeah,
God. This
that
is
was
crazy.
hilarious. Yeah, yeah. So
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Oh my.
yeah, uh, yes, we are on time.
Yeah, guys, this has been a blast. Thank you all. Honestly, had a ton of fun, and I hope you guys did too. So let's try to do this maybe like the beginning of each month. You all good on that, Hannah?
Yeah, sounds
Sounds
good.
great.
Good.
Okay. Okay. All right, guys. Awesome. Thank you. Thanks all of you.
Thanks all.
Thank you. Have a good day.
See ya, guys.
Bye.
Have a
Thank
good
you.
day, everyone.
Bye.
Yeah.